Well, hello. Welcome back to Q Live. My name is Bill Selak. I'm the Director of Technology at Hillbrook School, and with me is the illustrious Tom Murray. He's the Director of Innovation for Future Ready. Welcome, Tom.
It's great to be here, Bill. Q is a wonderful conference. Q's been great partners with Future Ready. Honor to be here. Excited to chat on camera, but also spend great time with thousands of great educators here in California.
So we're here actually at the conference, unless you're watching the video later, in which case we're not at the conference anymore. But there's been this amazing strand with Future Ready at Q for sessions. Tell us about that.
So Future Ready is a national movement. We have over 50 partner organizations that take part in it. It is all completely free for schools. It's been grant funded. We partner with the U.S. Department of Education with that, as well as other organizations, such as if I'm a superintendent, AASA is their organization, or principals, NAESP, NASSP. So these organizations have come together for Future Ready to really support districts for more student-centered, personalized approach to learning. We have a framework that really looks at all the different areas, but one of the big keys to the success of Future Ready and the few thousand superintendents that have signed on is the partners, and Q has been one of those major national players in it. So a big shout out to Q in that. Here at the conference, like about 18 conferences we have this year, there's a strand. So throughout all the different sessions today, we actually see sessions related to Future Ready, related to the framework, whether it's personalized professional learning or data and privacy or leadership, that you can go to. So higher level admin, it's really geared towards, but really anybody can go to that to be part of that. So Q's been an incredible partner when it comes to Future Ready.
That's fantastic. And are you guys partnering with Q at all in California beyond this conference?
Yeah, so great question. Q is actually partnering with TCAL and AXA, other organizations that they work very closely with, and we're starting Future Ready California. And so, apart from a Future Ready where we are at a national level, there's 50 different states that operate in 50 different ways with different sets of standards and so on and so forth. And so, what's great is they are taking the lead on Future Ready California. So things that are California specific, like LCAP and some of the way different things are funded here, that we aren't really dealing with on a national level because it's specific to California, that they'll be able to take the lead on there. So if you go to Future Ready CA for California.org, it's actually going to be a site that's going to be really growing in the next few months as well. We have coming up in a month here in California a dashboard workshop, totally free, where they'll be using the Future Ready dashboard to create a systemic action plan. And Q and TCAL and AXA are going to be doing the LEAD 3.0 conference shortly thereafter. And it's just an example of ongoing high-quality PD opportunities for school leaders.
That's fantastic. So let's talk about you a little bit. Before you were the big DC policy guy, what were you doing before?
So the best experience was classroom teacher. So I spent a number of years as a classroom teacher. After doing that, I was a middle school assistant principal. Then I was an elementary principal. After being an elementary principal, I was a tech director. I couldn't hold down a job, obviously. So what did they do? I went to work with government, right? What else is better than that? So I'm not a federal employee currently, but I work for a nonprofit. And so being able to do that, we work with the Department of Ed and so on. But best job ever is fourth grade classroom teacher, getting to love and care about and know those kids. And I did that for a number of years. So.
Nice, that's fantastic. I taught music to fourth grade students. That's a great age. So you guys are grant funded, you said. So nonpartisan?
Yeah, so bipartisan nonprofit. I will say President Obama and the White House has been tremendous leaders when it comes to a lot of the things that we're working with. And so Future Ready has come out of part of what's called the Connect Ed initiative. That was something that the president really wanted to. A piece of that would be considered 99 and 5, where the president's really been a champion for connectivity in our schools. There's Wi-Fi on Mount Everest, but some of our schools were not connected on Wi-Fi. And so that's also become an equity issue, which is really one of the key pieces of Future Ready. So the president's been a leader. We kicked a Future Ready off at the White House, but it's not a partisan movement in the sense of a Republican or Democrat thing. It is a kid-centered thing.
That's fantastic. So how can people get involved? Tell me about how a classroom teacher can get involved, how a superintendent can get involved with Future Ready.
So the movement's really focused on high-level school leaders from the get-go. And occasionally I'll have a teacher say, but what about me? Which is a great question. In every school in our nation, every day, great things happen. But until leadership gets on board in a school system, it's going to be in pockets. And you'll see classrooms, just like we have now, great things moving. But our goal is to get leadership on board, to get our principals, our superintendents modeling great practice. How they run in-service days, how they run faculty meetings needs to be a direct reflection of what they're looking for in the classroom, because we want to work with them to truly empower teachers to free them. Future Ready is not a technology-first initiative. It's a high-quality teaching and learning initiative the foundation of the work that we do is leadership and school culture. So we hold a number of summits around the nation, all totally free. And those summits are 2-day summits where they come, and day one is leadership, school culture, creating cultures of innovation. It's not about let's buy more stuff, because we have this major issue in our nation where we're buying all this stuff. I don't care if they're Chromebooks or iPads, both great devices. We're putting them in carts, putting them in our hallways, and often saying, now what do we do with it? Now that we've got all this technology, how do we change our PD? Now that we got all this technology, how do we change our curriculum? And that's a backwards approach that doesn't work. So we're seeing a lot of schools spend a lot of money having no idea if it's actually working or not. And so that's what we're working to shift, but we really need to get the leadership on board with that. So where can people take place? If you take a look at futureready.org, that's our main website. It was futurereadyschools.org, and we moved it over to futureready.org on Digital Learning Day, which is also something that we run at the Alliance. And so that's a starting point. On there, if you're a superintendent taking the Future Ready District Pledge, here in California, we've had almost 400 superintendents out of the over 1,000, that's almost 40%, sign the Future Ready District Pledge. If you click on the event section, there's all sorts of summits and workshops, all totally free. I will also mention we have a Future Ready dashboard. This is an amazing systemic planning tool, courtesy of McGraw-Hill and AT&T Education. They funded it so that it could be free for every school in the nation, which is an incredible tool. You know, districts are making all sorts of decisions on what type of devices we buy, what kind of infrastructure, how we're doing it, but what data are they basing it on? A lot of time it's, I'm a tech director, I love Google, so we're going Google. Or I'm a tech director, I love Apple. We can't be doing it that way. We need to be basing it on what's the information we're making the decisions on. So we have a lot of, we have a variety of assessments that districts can take and use. We have a few hundred resources from all of our coalition partners, all totally free. Districts own their data, so privacy is not an issue in that regard. We wanted to model good privacy practice with that. But it's been a great tool for reporting and for goal setting and action planning. So districts can really have a systemic action plan before they go spend the next $1 million on stuff to actually have a clue in terms of how it's going to impact teaching and learning. Because buying the stuff, putting it in a classroom in and of itself does nothing. It's shifting that pedagogy. That's where that magic happens, and that's what we're really working to shift.
Well, that's fantastic. Our school is taking the Future Ready Pledge. We hope most schools are doing the same. So
Great.
Keep fighting the good fight. Thanks for joining us for Q Live.
Yeah, appreciate being here, and it's all for the kids that we serve. Honored to be here. Thanks.